Good morning and welcome to Courageous Journeys. Today we have an exciting program. We're going to be looking at going beyond corporate America and alternatives to starting your own business and the types of business structures that you can work around your own schedule, whether it be family or another job that you're trying to work your way out of. So my first guest this morning is Judy. Not Judy. Judy Wood is our wine specialist, and that'll be coming much later. My first guest is Patsy Wall, and Patsy has been in the beauty industry for 30 years. She's married to her husband, Tom, for 27 years. She's raised 4 children and is a grandmother of 7 children. Looking for a better way to retire, have more time with her family, and create a source for retirement. She got involved in direct marketing. So help me welcome my guest, Miss Patsy Wall. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. So what I generally do with my guests is kind of take them back before they made the decision to make whatever change it is in their life, or get over whatever it is they need to get over. So for you, being in the beauty industry for 30 years, what was going through your mind with regards to dissatisfaction and what you needed to change?
It actually came down to the amount of hours that I had to work to achieve the income that I was comfortable with. The hair industry can be a very lucrative business, but it takes a lot of hours. And so what I found is one Thursday I worked 11 hours to make $400. I worked a Saturday morning for 2 hours and made the same amount of money, and that was kind of my aha moment. I was like, okay. And also in a direct business, you can move yourself up as quickly as you want to and as high as you want. You don't have those constraints.
And in the way of constraints, you mean, like, for instance, if you're employed by someone else, you have to wait for them to promote you regardless of your efforts and motivation and whatnot.
But in the direct sales business, you can promote yourself due to your hard work. It is a decision that you yourself make, where you want to be, at what point you want to be, and what income.
And so when you started thinking that and you had your aha moment, what did you research? What did you look into that were options for yourself before did you research?
Actually, it kind of fell into my lap because I did hair and makeup for weddings and special occasions. So I wanted to stick with the beauty industry because that's what I knew. And I already knew makeup and stuff. So I had used Mary Kay most of my life. And so when I did a bride one day, she said, "Do you have something I can buy?" And I was like, no. So I kind of decided, well, I already knew, I was already using it, I already knew it.
Right.
So that's why I decided that would be a good fit in my business, which has kind of started turning around to be more of my business than my hair business.
Now, I've known a few people that actually have been hairdressers over the years that also were involved with a makeup product. Now, what are, though, the limitations? Because unlike if you were to, for instance, be manufacturing your own product, you could market it and sell it however you wanted. But within each separate type of industry that is marketed through network marketing, there are some constraints and some things that you need to do. Are you following me? You can't, for instance, have a big display, right?
No, I cannot. It is definitely a in-home marketing plan, party plan. But that really doesn't stop me from doing what I do. I can have it in my car, if the weather permits. But what I do is I find that I talk to people, I tell them what I do, and then I get them to come to me or I go to them. And then once they experience the product, that's when they understand what I'm talking about.
And so you set up times to meet with them either individually or invite them to a group event, right?
Right, yes.
And for you, were you satisfied initially? Because I know my own experience, and I've looked into lots of different business models, is that the idea is that your upline, or the person who brings you in, will help you initially train you on how to go about doing this business, right?
Right.
Are you feeling that you're provided with enough tools to succeed to the level that what you're trying to do?
Okay, what we do in Mary Kay is we have a success meeting once a week. We go there and you are trained about product information. You are told how to work the business, how to book, sell, recruit, if you will. And so as a director in Mary Kay, you are the one that is out in the field and you are actually training. And so you can get as much information on Mary Kay in Touch. They have the Silver Wings program that you can, it is something that Mary Kay herself designed, and you can go onto your computer and you go at every level, and it tells you how to organize your office, how to set up your business, how to set up your inventory. So there is a wealth of information that you can get by yourself, or you can go to the meeting, and then the directors are conducting that meeting, and then that's how you learn, more skills, how to hone it in.
That is what I find fascinating about a lot of the different direct marketing companies, is that I looked in depth into buying some franchises, and the thing that allured me about a franchise, having had my own business for over 20 years and recreating the wheel every time, was that they already have the structure in place.
Yes.
Already the software is there. Your website quite often is already done for you. You don't have to do any of that. I mean, they even have commercials pre-done. They have so many things lined up. But in order to purchase a franchise, at least the type I was looking at a minimum of $150,000. I know they had less. I was told that there were some as lower as $60,000, $65,000, but still, that's a huge investment without not necessarily having been involved in that particular industry before, to take that leap of faith. So on getting started with a company like Mary Kay, what type of financial investment is required realistically, not just getting in?
Your initial decision to join Mary Kay is $100. That gives you your kit and the ability to go out and show and sell the product. Inventory is an option and it is a choice. But if you have an empty store, you wouldn't open up a store with nothing on the shelves. Mm-hmm. So what we encourage, we do not tell. It has to be a personal decision. You need something on your shelf to sell. I started out and worked my way up. I would not recommend that to everybody. It was hard, but you can start out with a minimum of $200, which is very difficult. So what sometimes we do is have a debut party, and you invite your friends and your family, and then that order you send in as your initial order, and you also can fill that order, but then you have, but I would say, the minimum to start out with is $1,800.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, is a more realistic, a good start.
Right.
What the financial investment should be in order to have the tools that you need. Because as a business owner myself, and trying to convince people to buy, for instance, architectural design materials, you have to have samples. They want to touch, feel, see, try, whatever it is, in order to make that decision, that purchasing decision. And makeup might not be as expensive as architectural materials, but still, any purchase is a
yeah, I mean, you have to decide when you're going to do this how you want to conduct your business. It is your business. Once you sign that consultant agreement and you get your kit, it is your business, and it's a dual company. I buy it for $1, I sell it to you for $2. That is how we work. We're not multi-leveling. We are a dual company. And in order to sell, you have to have the product on your shelf. So you have to decide at what level you want that to be. Are you going to be a part-time consultant? Are you going for the gold? Are you running ahead? So it's kind of a personal decision. But when I sign up a recruit or a team member, I try to encourage them to look and see exactly where they want their business to go and how fast they want to grow.
And do you give them a realistic, because this is another thing that I think lacks in some organizations, and it might just be the individual trainer, but do you give them a realistic time commitment? Let's say, for instance, they're working a regular job, but they want to get to, a certain income with working with Mary Kay. Do you say, well, look, realistically, you need to set 3 appointments a week or five appointments to help them understand that?
Mary Kay considers 3 appointments a week to be a part-time. 5 to 10, you're looking at directorship. The more faces you do, the more people you meet, the more opportunities that are presented to you. And so that's what you have to decide. Now, when I talk about 3 appointments, we're only talking like an hour and a half to 2 hours per appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is a very feasible thing to do, to work around. I met a lady who was a pharmacist. She could only do appointments on Saturdays. She held 3 parties on Saturdays, 10, 2, and 6. Mm-hmm. And within 4 months, she was a director. So
focused all her energy on Saturdays.
Exactly. So it is, there again, it is a simple business to conduct, but it is a job. And that's how you have to look at it. This is a job. You have to devote that time and the energy to develop this business to go where you want to go.
Well, any business ownership requires self-motivation. Even though some of the organizations have what I call cheerleading, which I'm so not a cheerleader type, but because I'm self-motivated. So I understand the psychological benefits to that whole, hoorah-rah thing.
Mm-hmm.
But some people need that to get them off, let's say, that one pedestal they're on, move to the next.
Right.
And so as far as motivational things that you guys use, do you have anything like that? Or
Well, we believe in affirmations. Like, I am an awesome director of the Bodacious Babes. You tell yourself that.
Is that your group?
That's my group.
Bodacious
the
Babes?
Bodacious Babes, yes.
I like that.
And in our success meetings, everything is positive. You have to surround yourself with positive people, and some people need that come together. And of course, we have our career conferences and our seminar, which I just got back from Dallas, and we call that getting into our pink bubble.
What? Okay. Surrounded by Mary Kay.
Yes.
That's the pink bubble.
Yes, and you can see when you go to these things, even at our success meetings, there are people who have become directors in a very, very short time. There are some people who have taken years. See, that's your personal choice. It's how you want to work it. And I get enthused when I see what other people have done. And I am one of the people that they call a motivator in our success meeting, because I am very excited, and I am a very people person, and I'm very outgoing. And a lot of people kind of like, well, because, I get in there and I tell everybody, I am an awesome director. and just to set the record straight, I'm not a director yet, but I'm very, very close.
Well,
I'm getting there.
We'll get you there.
Yes.
So how can people find out more about getting involved, like with necessarily Bodacious Babes, right?
Yes.
Bodacious Babes. And I think that your website's right on the screen.
Yes.
So can they contact you like that?
Yes. On the Mary Kay website, which is the website that is on the screen, if you go on there, you can contact me personally. It has all my personal information on there, and it also has a thing you can click to know more about the business. But if anybody would like to know more about Mary Kay, just give me a call.
What's your number?
My number is 559-389-9189, and I would love to talk to anybody, because it is an awesome opportunity. It's an awesome company. It is 50 years old this year, and it is on the cutting edge of anti-aging. It is not your grandmother's skincare.
Very different.
Yes, it has something for every age. When your kids start into puberty, they should start taking care of their skin, and that's your boys as well as your girls.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a men's product line, and it's never too young to start taking care of your skin.
You can get them to use it.
Yes, that's the key.
14-year-old.
I can sell it to you, but I can't make them use it. But anyway, it is a very, very progressive company. It is a good company. Our commissions are paid from the company's half, not out of what my team does. And I find that very commendable. And it is a moving company, and they
Well,
have.
I'm glad that you're moving and shaking.
Yes,
and
I
know
am.
you're going to make it to director real soon. And I really appreciate your time this morning, sharing with us, because I wanted to give our viewers a little time to learn about different things. So thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
coming.
much for having me.
And have a wonderful afternoon today.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
I am a monster.
I will never back down.
I am part of a tradition.
I got green in my veins! I'm ready to go!
I'm a monster!
This is our team.
This is our town!
This is our barn! This is our time.
I am relentless.
I will never get tired of the goal song.
I'm ready to go!
I will never quit.
I am a monster.
I am a monster!
I am a monster!
Watch Tim Thiessen live Wednesdays at 3 p.m. right here on CentralValleyTalk.com and on digital channel 33.2. If you missed the live broadcast, we're on every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. on Comcast channel 200 and digital channel 43.5. You don't want to miss this.
You're watching CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Hey Central Valley, this is Chuck Leonard. Starting in September, I'll be on KAIL, my 7.1. Let's go out in the Tower District and see what people think. Chuck Leonard, get that guy some cheese to go with his wine. Chuck Leonard, I'd love to give that guy a tip.
Chuck Leonard, he's great.
Do I get my free drink now?
Central Valley Buzz with Chuck Leonard, starting September 16th on KAIL, my 7.1.
Hi, and welcome to Courageous Journeys. This morning we're discussing going beyond corporate America and the kind of options that are out there that through your own self-motivation and determination can help you build a retirement and a business of your own. My next guest has a very fun type of business that she's involved in, and that is Judy Wood. And help me welcome Judy Wood. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Judy Wood, let's see here. Bear with me a second. I got a little mixed up there. She's an independent wine consultant with Wine Shop at Home, where she helps people slow down, relax, and have fun and enjoy life. She's a widow, a mother of 2 grown sons, a grandma to 2 of the most wonderful grandchildren in the world, she said, until I have mine, right? No. She actually homeschooled her sons, which I find very commendable. People used to tell me I needed to do that. It's not in my character. It's not in my bone.
I didn't think so either, but
thoroughly enjoying being a team player. Judy's been involved in doing administrative work for other organizations, volunteer organizations, as well as a job. In 2006, Judy also became involved in network marketing. Her first adventure into that area wasn't exactly the right fit.
Right.
And then when you were fortunate enough to hear about Wine Shop at Home, it piqued your, did you watch a video? I can't remember what you told me.
Well, I saw a video, and that's where really the aha moment of this is just too much fun to pass
Today's
up.
our aha moment day.
And but I had originally talked with my upline's mother and different things, but yeah, it was that video of what a wine tasting is about and all of that, and I decided I need more fun in my life, and as we all do, and what better way to get fun in your life, to meet wonderful people, earn money, and drink wine on the job? Wow.
So that sounds like a lot of fun. And I've actually had you at my home before, and that was a lot of fun. So as far as your first experience, obviously some of the similar type of goals were what drew you to a direct marketing business.
Right.
But switching over to the Wine Shop at Home, was it strictly just the product type or the structure of the venue of how you grow? What exactly lured you into changing
wine? The fun, because that's where I was at the time in my life, and getting involved with direct marketing is different for everybody. Some people absolutely need the extra income. Some people, some women need to get out of the house from the little ones and need to be around adults. So our reasons vary. Some people just need the tax write-offs, and where this, direct sales is a great business.
Because it is a business.
Yeah.
So
you
let's
get all
talk about that for a minute, because we didn't talk about it with our last guest. So as a business owner, obviously you can write off travel to your events, you can write off the products that you need to throw the events,
right,
and phones and so on and so forth. So as a part-time venture, it actually makes quite a bit of sense.
Yes.
In that aspect, right? Because those things that you would enjoy doing anyway, especially throwing the wine parties, you can now write off. So as far as realistically how much time and effort it takes you in this business, or it's taking you, and how much you focus, because like Patsy said earlier, it is a personal choice how energetic and how motivated you want to be. But for you, you're helping take care of grandchildren too, right?
Right. That's 4 days a week, and so that is a big chunk of time that I don't have to spend with the wine shop at home, but I work it in when the baby's sleeping. I can make calls and do paperwork and things like that. So it's taken me a little bit longer and a little bit slower to move ahead than what I would really like, but
But you have priorities.
Yes, and they are my
family
priority.
is definitely a priority.
Yes, and that's what's great too, is that you can have your family be a priority. You don't have to be the workaholic where you're, at the office,
And you
12
have
hours
someone
a day.
yelling over your shoulder going,
Exactly.
deadlines.
Yes, exactly.
How old's the baby?
He just turned a year old, and the granddaughter just turned 6 years old.
What a fun
yeah.
age. You're
Yes.
blessed to be able to spend that time with
Yes,
them.
I am.
So you got involved how long ago with Wine Shop at Home?
2 years ago in June.
Okay.
And then due to some life circumstances, I wasn't really able to start working it until about February of 2012. Yeah. So.
Okay. And that's another thing that, unlike working for someone else, because like for me, for instance, I've tried to go back and finish my degree several times, and issues with family or whatever make that so challenging. But when you're involved in a direct marketing business, I know some of them may be different, but at least the ones that we have today are not, there's not this kind of performance pressure generally that you can get in some other environments. And what I mean by that is, you have an issue with your grandchildren, you don't book any parties that week,
Exactly.
right? And that allows a lot of flexibility. And in today's economic environment, when people may even be working that are watching, they're taking a sneak break from their job to watch this,
Yes.
or watching it later, but they are desperate for more time with family and trying to find a way to do that without having a huge financial investment. So
Right.
that was the reason why I wanted to bring all of you here today, is to try and help people see that there's another way versus corporate America and
Right.
going that route. So so on the structure, so talk to me about how you do business and tell our guests what that involves.
Okay, well,
What's in it for them?
Wine. So I try to talk to everybody I know, and I try to wear the T-shirts that talk about wine, and people say, "Oh, that's a cute T-shirt."
And
Oh,
what does it say?
Wine
what?
consultant.
Oh, consultant. Okay.
And this is what I wear at the tasting, so everybody knows who I am. So, and they'll comment on my T-shirt, and I say, "Oh, well, wine is my business." "Oh, really? How what do you do?" and stuff, and I get to engage in conversation with them, and usually give them a business card and all of that. I belong to several network marketing groups, not marketing groups, but
Business networking groups.
Right. eWomen Network, the Fresno County Women's Chamber, the Clovis Chamber, and so I get a lot of leads that way. And mostly, though, I get from my own tastings. When people, for example, like
The wine
yours.
is great, by the way.
Thank you. Like people will have a tasting, and their guests see how much fun and easy it is to have a tasting, and how Yeah, easy. It is, and it's so nice to have the wine delivered straight to you. But then they want to have tasting, so
And so when they say, yeah, I'm interested in having a tasting, now I know what's involved, but tell our guests what that means. Okay, so they pay for a certain amount. Break it down for them.
Okay, they purchased for $29.95 our tasting sampler kit, which is 5 bottles of a variety of wines. The host gets a thank you bottle for having the tasting, and if they would like to share it, they can. If not, and they want to keep it for later, they can do that as well. It's up to them. So we're tasting 5 or 6 different wines, and we pair them up with cheeses and chocolates and crackers, and we talk about food pairings, and we get to taste and enjoy, and then I teach a little bit about wine and the education. We have a lot of fun, and then at the end of the time, everybody can has the opportunity to purchase one of their favorites. So.
Another thing I found interesting is that you also have recipes that go with the different wines that one of my friends was just like thrilled about. I'm not so good at recipes, but she was thrilled to be able to get recipes that go with particular wines. Now, you had asked me to show a very short little clip about Wine Shop, so we're going to go ahead and do that.
9 minutes.
No. I gave you 2 minutes.
2:16.
Okay. Anyway, so pairing the wines. So what the host does is brings fruit, strawberries, chocolates, some cheeses. You tell them what kinds of cheeses
to
provide. Something I didn't ask you, which I don't know if I should ask you now or not, but for those that are like lactose intolerant, do you have any other suggestions other than like, now I'm eating raw cheese, so maybe they could do that, but are you able to line that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better.
Whenever you're ready. Huh? Oh. Okay. We'll watch this. We'll be right back. Thank you, Judy.
You're welcome.
I was looking for something a little bit different. I had recently lost my job in corporate America. Really wasn't looking to go back to corporate America, so I was looking for a different opportunity. And I was actually invited to a wine tasting and fell in love with the concept.
Wonderful. Obviously, a little more fun than corporate America can provide.
I just have a lot of fun, and I'd like to say that corporate America drove me to drink.
I love it. Let me ask you this. Wine, the oldest beverage anybody knows. It's one of the most popular beverages. The company have provided a way where we can discover some great wines right inside our own home. Tell me how one of these parties works.
Oh, they're so fun to do. What a host does is they purchase a wine sampler from the wine consultant, and from there we go in and we guide our guests through 6 bottles of wine. And we try both white wines and red, and we have tasting boards that we use to take notes on, and we also pair the wines up with some very simple cheeses and chocolates, and just have a very guided tasting, very fun and educational.
Sounds like a lot more fun than I could have in a store going out and trying the same thing. Obviously, wine tasting for the folks out there that maybe have never tried wine tasting before. How do they benefit by being able to taste the wine, first of all?
As you had mentioned previously, all of our wines are artisan. So what we do is we hand select all of our grapes, and we bring in types of wines that people would not find necessarily in a retail or a liquor store environment. So we're introducing them to wines that are very exclusive, very limited, and something that is very rare and unique.
Wonderful. We're talking about red wines, white wines, specialty wines, a little bit of each?
A little bit of each. So we always have a sparkling on hand. We have some really nice white wines. We have what we call our common varietals, Chardonnays, Sauvignon Blancs, and things like that. But we might have something like an Arnis as well. And in the red category, we might have something like a Dolcetto on top of a Merlot or a Malbec.
Let me ask you this. Do the folks learn anything about pairing that wine with foods and that type of thing?
Absolutely. That's the biggest piece of what we try to do as we're introducing them to our wines. Is we try to help our customers figure out how to pair these with the right food so they can get the best taste that agrees to their palate. So we do some fun things at a tasting. We'll use salt, we'll use lemon, and we try to figure out what works best with each person. So it's not necessarily that red wine goes with red meat or white wine with white meat. It's what your palate is. CentralValleyTalk.com.
Hi, you're tuned in to Courageous Journeys with me, Theodora Michelides, and this morning I have with me Michael Fox. Michael Fox worked in the landscape industry for over 14 years, moving up in the ranks from delivery driver to employee educator and branch manager. He left the landscape industry and moved into the insurance industry as a farmer's insurance agent for 8 years. That did afford him some of the things he was looking for as far as residual income and flexibility. Although he liked self-employment and freedom, he did not like the burdens of the extra expenses of an office, and also the joy of having employees and so many other things.
Taxes.
Yeah, and taxes. That's always fun, filling out those forms. And then with relocating to Fresno, Michael found himself actually unemployed for 18 months. After 18 months, he became employed with one of the largest pest control companies in the area, which did provide you some independence, but then you're on a commission-only structure.
And on their time.
Yeah, Michael is married to his beautiful wife, Kyla, and they have 6 kids. You beat me by 1.
I was shooting for you.
Pretty awesome, huh? So help me welcome Michael. Thanks a lot for coming.
Thanks,
I really
Theodora.
appreciate
it.
And want to hear your take on things. So I already said you were in the landscape industry.
Yep.
You moved into the insurance business.
Yep.
Then after being unemployed for 18 months, you had a lot of thinking to do, huh?
All I had to do was thinking. Yeah, I had so much time, and it was great because I got to take the kids to school. I got to, I got to pretty much do what I want. But then you realize, gosh, I really like to go here or there, but you have no money to go anywhere. And plus, it really messes with your self-esteem to say, okay, I don't like to be a burden on people or society because the fact is I'm not out doing it myself.
Right.
And so it did mess with, I don't want to say mess with it. It does
Depression.
It depressed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It hits your self-esteem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really hard.
And in our society too, the man often thinks he's responsible for caring for, all of the main bulk of the expenses.
And I wasn't. So it was hitting me hard. And so then I was blessed with the call, and I don't even remember applying for the job. I got the call to go out there, and so I went full bore into it because I did not want to be on that line ever again to have to be on the dole. So I went full bore into it, loved it, crawl underneath houses and go look for bugs all the time. I love it. But then I realized working the time that I do and the full time, and daughters in soccer, kids got this, and wife has this, and we want to go somewhere. 6 days a week, you lose a lot of time. Plus, after going through the unemployment and going through divorce, you kind of lose all your financial resources. So I was starting over in my 40s and thinking, I'm looking down that narrow path to retirement and having to start over. That's a 20-year path instead of a 40-year path.
Right.
And I wasn't really excited about it. So I knew I had to do something different, and I knew I had to do something quick. To make that decision to do something else, because a 401k is not going to do it. After being in the insurance and knowing how they work, it's not going to work.
No.
They don't pay.
And so starting to think about that, like I asked Judy earlier, did you do any research into different types of businesses, or what? How did you?
I didn't just research them, I joined them. And I didn't. Yeah, it was like that was my research. It was on the job research, and then it was all came up with the same result. Well, this isn't working for me. Well, I never took the step back to say, okay, why is it not working for me? Is it the business or is it me?
Right, your own approach.
And it was my own approach. I dabbled in it. I didn't do it. I didn't jump into it. And so, the company doesn't work. No, I didn't work.
Yeah.
And that's what I really enjoy about what I'm doing now is the fact is, it's not working. I'm working on the business, but I'm also working on me. And that was one of my times, for 18 months, had a lot of time to say, okay, what am I doing wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And what do I need to change? And it gave me that opportunity to step back and say, this is what I need to change. And this is what I need to work on. And with the mentorship of these direct marketing companies, as you talk to the other ladies, they were all saying the same thing. There's a training, and there's working, and there's this, and there's this. You immerse yourself into the training, into the whole business. It's not just let me go to work today. No, it's not like that. You
Right.
immerse yourself in it.
Right. And as far as immersing yourself, that's something too that a lot of people don't understand. They sign up or whatever, and then they're insecure of the kinds of things that are needed to progress in this. And
Yes,
so
absolutely.
it does challenge you to go beyond your comfort zone,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes, you
you
have
do
to
have
step
to
out.
invite people to something. You do have to be willing to talk to people. My
You're-
kids criticize me for just like talking to strangers and giving strangers compliments. That's just who I am. So, but when I have this thing going on in my head that because I'm really not, that's not ingrained in me, when I have an ulterior motive, then all of a sudden I'm tongue-tied.
Yes.
So,
But when you're speaking the truth,
yeah,
it
but
comes right out.
developing your own skills and your own personal character, what kind of things are you working on, or has this provided you?
Basically getting out of my comfort zone to have that passion to say, okay, this is what I do. Like it or not, that's your problem, not mine. This is my choice that I want to do, and this is where I want to move forward with. And I see the value in it. If you don't, there's nothing I can do about it. That's on you and but it took a long time for me to realize that they're not rejecting me, they're rejecting the company.
Okay, so I think what I'm understanding from what you said is being able to, and I had a motivational speaker on here a couple weeks ago, and we talked about that, is being able to say it's not a reflection of me or who I am.
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to offer them an opportunity. They either choose to take it or not. That's up to them, right?
up to them.
But having that self-confidence, and then family and friends quite often are our most helpful non-motivators.
Absolutely.
When it's something new and they
Yeah.
think that oh no, what is Michael doing now? Right?
Exactly. And we're raised to go to school, get a job, stay there for 40 years, retire, and be okay. It doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't. People are lucky to stay in a job for 3 to 5 years, and we're constantly, well, we got to do something else. We got to do something else. But you're right. It's there is that. Well, can't you just stay with what you're doing? Well,
Right.
not all the time. No. People have bosses have other plans for you. So.
Well, and then in most recent years, when I lived in England, I was very insecure and was put down over the fact that I had a couple different jobs, because they are like, really, you get in your career and that's it. You do that till the day you die. But in recent years, especially with the most recent economic downturn, many people are going back to school. They're totally reinventing themselves and pushing themselves beyond their comfort zone. To try something new.
Absolutely. But the schools are still teaching you to go get a job and stay at that company for a long time and get a retirement, because
The mentality.
the mentality is still there, but that's not always working. And with the way the jobs are working now, the companies are scaling back, more automated, more out of country, moving from state to state to state. It's not always best for the employees, but they're not always thinking about the employees.
Well, yeah, most definitely.
No.
It's a profit-driven thing.
Yes.
Give me 1 second. There are some book references that are really good, especially for people, all people, but people in midlife, as far as recreating themselves and starting their own businesses, that I wanted our producer over here to bring up. The first one was a book called The New Model for Work-Life Success. And the author of that is Marcy Alboher, Alboher, and her website is heymarcy.com. Do you see that up there?
There it is.
All right, great. That I found to be a very well-written little guide on, motivating you to go beyond your comfort zone and doing new things. And then there was another author who's a little bit younger, who had a fabulous career in corporate America and decided to once again break free from that mold
Mhm.
and do her own thing. And she wrote the book called A Practical Guide to Creating the Career of Your Dreams, a career guide for entrepreneurs and other renegades, which I thought was cute. And her website is www.escapefromcorporate.com. And we have that up there right now. So if you're looking for, people may be thinking, that they're dissatisfied with what they're currently doing, but they don't know which direction to go. So sometimes you need someone to sit down with you and help you find out what your strengths are.
And your weaknesses too, because we don't always play your weaknesses. But you're absolutely right. And as you say, we have 4 different industries in here today, and they're all different. So there's so much to offer and so much to choose from. You kind of got to find, okay, what do I really want to do? And you have that opportunity to really go out and find what do you want to do. But a lot of it too is that it's you have to kind of do more inside. If you're thinking that mentality of I'll just get another job. It's not another job. Yeah. You are an owner, and you have to treat it that way.
Right. Introspection and working on your own character and your own, like you said, weaknesses, and that's huge with having a business, because there's so many areas that you need to build your strength in.
Ultimately, you have to blame yourself. You can't blame other people.
Yeah, most definitely.
Most definitely.
Now, let's quickly get into what you deal with, because I was rambling on. I apologize with
That's
that.
okay,
So
Theodore.
the type of business that you're involved in, what services do you provide?
I work with the essential services sales, and it's not so much sales. It's more, we go after your essential services like your phone, your internet, and your cable TV, and your cell phones.
Which
and
everybody has, and they're paying.
The 4 things you're always going to have, even if you don't have a house, is gas for a warm shower. You're going to have a cell phone. Even homeless people have cell phones. They're always going to have the internet, and they're always going to have cable TV. Okay? Those 4 things no one will live without. Okay? We've got so ingrained in that no matter what their financial situation, they have the hardest thing to let go. So we kind of help them. We have wholesale prices on all those products. And so it's recession proof. It doesn't, even if the recession, we're in a bad economy.
People are still wanting
those and still have those. They might scale them back a little bit, but they're still buying them. They're still needing them. We help them with all of their. We now offer not retail pricing, wholesale pricing for them.
So explain that to our viewing audience. What you mean is, you'll, for instance, say I'm a business owner. You're going to say, hey, Theodora, I can do what for you?
I can, as a business owner, I can go into your house or your business and say, okay, you're paying this much for your phone system. I can save you money on that because you're going through a retail AT&T. I can get you a wholesale through our company. Same thing with the gas. Okay, the gas is supplied by a PG&E company. You have no say in that until you go in and say, I don't want your company anymore because you're charging me too much, and you go with ours, and it gives them a guaranteed savings.
But what's nice about that, and I hate to interrupt, but is that, for instance, with the gas, is you don't have the inconvenience of now receiving a whole nother bill. The gas bill is still going through PG&E, so it's just a really simple change.
The only thing you see is a different name on the bill. That's the only thing you see different. The bill is exactly the same. It goes to the same place. It just, it's basically the same phone numbers.
And who are some of the companies that you have as providers?
For provider, well, have you heard of AT&T? Have you heard of Verizon? Have you heard of T-Mobile? Have you ever heard of Sprint? ADT, Vivint, Comcast, Dish, and Direct.
So your customers don't have to go out of their comfort zone with starting some unknown.
No, it's not Mike's cell phone service. It's because my towers. I'm trying to get my next tower up there, and it's not working. So, but it's not like that at all. We have the companies we deal with are Fortune 500 companies. Yeah, and you're dealing with those companies. You're not dealing with me to call me to say, hey, fix my bill, or my satellite's not working. Can you go up on my roof and fix it? We don't do that.
So you don't do necessarily customer service, even though you are their connection to making sure that they have those services. They still get the same customer service from those companies.
Yep.
We're about to wrap up this segment, but I really appreciate you being here.
No problem, Theodore. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for telling our guests a little bit about another alternative.
My pleasure. Thanks
and we did have your website up there. Yes, it is, that they can click on that and find out more information. Thank you very much for coming today.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
Hey, Central Valley, this is Chuck Leonard. Starting in September, I'll be on KAIL, my 7.1. Let's go out in the Tower District and see what people think.
That Chuck Leonard, he's a mess.
That Chuck Leonard, he made a permanent impression on me. Yeah, Chuck Leonard. I love him almost as much as I love coffee. Can I get another tweaker, please?
Central Valley Buzz with Chuck Leonard, starting September 16th on KAIL, my 7.1.
I am a monster. I will never back down.
I am part of a tradition.
I got green in my veins. I'm ready to go.
I'm a monster!
This is our team.
This is our town.
This is our barn. This is our time.
I am relentless.
I will never get tired of the goal song.
I'm ready to go.
I will never quit. I am a monster.
I am a monster.
I am a monster!
Watch Tim Thiessen live Wednesdays at 3 p.m. right here on CentralValleyTalk.com and on digital channel 33.2. If you missed the live broadcast, we're on every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. on Comcast channel 200 and digital channel 43.5. You don't want to miss this.
You're watching CentralValleyTalk.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Hey, Central Valley, this is Chuck Leonard. Starting in September, I'll be on KAIL, my 7.1. Let's go out in the Tower District and see what people think.
That Chuck Leonard, he's a mess.
That Chuck Leonard, he made a permanent impression on me. Yeah, Chuck Leonard. I love him almost as much as I love coffee. Can I get another tweaker, please?
Central Valley Buzz with Chuck Leonard, starting September 16th on KAIL, my 7.1.
Hi, and welcome back to Courageous Journeys. My next guest is Mary Swartz, and I admire her for a lot of reasons. She has traveled her own path over the last few years to build a successful direct marketing company, and she's a mother of an 8-year-old son, a devoted wife, and you went into this type of business because you were working in administrative, right?
Yes.
Field, and you were already involved in doing something similar to what you got into. And what I mean by that is you were in charge of like the winter campaigns for Christmas cards, and I think I remembered you telling me that's how you got introduced to this.
Exactly.
So Mary Swartz, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having
me. I appreciate it. So tell our guests what you were doing and how you were introduced to Send Out Cards, which is what your business is,
yes.
right?
Yes, thank you. I was an admin, like office manager position for 15 years, and we started talking about having a family, and we adopted our son, actually. And we got to the point where every time he was sick or we needed to do something or go on vacation, I was getting the no from the boss.
Oh.
And it wasn't working for me. And so I knew I needed to do something, I just wasn't sure what. And I'd been pitched many different things, and as we've heard from before, it needs to fit you.
Right.
And so nothing was fitting for me, but I was the one that did the 1,000 Christmas cards for the business. And so one of our sales guys was in a leads group and said, hey, this guy does cards. I don't know what, but I know you're about ready to send all these cards. Do you want to see him? I'm the gatekeeper. I keep everybody out. So I said no. And they got him in anyways, and and said, well,
you failed.
Yeah, I failed. And so I said, okay, I'll take a look. And he showed us. It only took about 10 minutes.
Who was us?
It was a group of the sales guys and me,
okay,
from the company, because they wanted to use it for sales thank yous. And you know, when you go out.
So the
for a
company
call.
that you worked for is sales guys.
Yes.
Okay, just so we can.
Yeah.
I thought it was thinking.
Copier sales. Yeah. And so they showed it to us. The gentleman showed it to us, and then I said, well, it does sound good. He says, you know, it takes you about 2 weeks to do these Christmas cards by hand. Wouldn't it be nicer if it took about 10 minutes? And I said, okay, yeah, that does sound good. And so on the way out, you know, he just said, I don't know if you're happy with where you're at, or if you need to make any extra income. But if you're about ready to send these 1,000 Christmas cards, would you like to earn a percentage of that? And that was basically all that was said.
And it piqued your interest.
It piqued my interest. He gave me the website to check out, and I went and I did my research that night, and I called him the next morning saying, yeah, this sounds
That was
good.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think you might have won the contest for that. So for you as a mother and trying to find an alternate source of income, your experience so far, what kind of things are benefits for you that you're getting out of
Oh my
running?
gosh. Well, everything everyone said prior pertains to me as well. I can
You
make
can't
my
do
own.
that. I might have just tuned in.
Sorry. I can make my own hours. I can set my own income goals. I love all of it. Yeah, we can go on vacation when we want to, and I've been doing it for almost 5 years now. So.
Okay, and what kind of, you brought some goodies here. What kind of things can people create with send out cards?
Well, it is a greeting card and gifting system, which is a $110 billion industry. So the greeting cards are very personal. She said, hold up here. Is that about right? So this is a greeting card I made for Halloween for my son. And so everyone was asking for pictures of him as he grew. And so I made this and sent it out to our whole family. That's his signature. You can put your own handwriting and signatures in the cards. And what you do is it's all done online. You click send, and then we print stamp stuff and mail it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, so for not just only Christmas cards, but as a business owner, now I've been a send out cards customer for a while, and I love it because one, if you are needing to send sympathy cards, birthday cards, any of that, you can do that. But you can also set up campaigns as a business owner to, as they say, touch your clients and say, just reaching out to you. Thank you for supporting us for the last year. And as a visual person, I love to create my own stuff.
Right.
So it's so simple. You upload your images, and then you can make your cards with that. So they're so personalized but you do have a lot of already done, if not everybody desires
Creative,
to be as
yeah.
creative, or wants to put in the time for it.
Right.
So what kind of cards are already available to the customer?
There's about 16,000 pre-done cards. And so any category you can think of. Like you said, sympathy, thank yous, thank you for the referral. There's a whole section of Spanish cards. There's a whole section of business cards. Any holiday. And then, of course, you can start from a blank card as well. But the campaigns for businesses are awesome as well.
Yeah. So other than greeting cards, what kind of things are available to the user?
We have an ever-expanding array of things. There's hundreds of gifts that are beautiful and packaged nicely. We have photo books.
I love that. I made some of those for Christmas gifts.
So there's photo books. There's calendars. There's mouse pads and T-shirts and
phone covers. All sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
huh?
there's a lot of selection.
And then with creating those, you do something very similar. You're just choosing your images that you want to incorporate in that. I think we even have mugs and things too.
Yes, we do.
So instead of going to separate businesses and thinking of your the people that you want to send gifts to, you can do all of that from your home or office at your computer, and it's shipped to them, and you don't have to worry about that. Now, what's the time difference? Because I've often wondered this question. Let's say I use a card that's already pre-done with send out cards versus I'm creating my own. Do you have an idea of how much longer it takes the new, because obviously they have to put it into their own software and print it.
Right. It's actually the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we print at night, every night at 11 p.m. our time, Pacific time, and they get out in the mail the next morning.
That's fantastic. That's
So,
fantastic. So, on building your business, you mentioned you've been in it 5 years, is that so?
Just shy of 5 years.
Just shy of 5 years. But I know Mary is like a go-getter, and you have worked very hard to grow your business, and so that it'll do what it is you want it to do. So, how many hours would you say realistically you're investing in your business at this time? Or did you just quit your job?
No.
Okay.
I kept my job for a year, and what I did was every lunch hour I would go and meet somebody. We had a restaurant right down the street from my office, and I had to be back within an hour. And so I would go to the same restaurant, they knew me well, and I would show somebody, send out cards, and then come back and do it again the next day. So that was like my power hour. I would do that every single day. And then eventually at the 1 year mark, I said I'm out of here. Now I do a lot of networking. I go a lot of groups like Judy does, and I meet a lot of people. Build relationships is very important to do, and that's the way I build it. I have a lot of hours invested in my week because I do this full time, and so I help my team as well with their business launches and what have you.
You know, and you touched on something that we failed to mention earlier. It really is a relationship building business. And that's something that's very different from dealing with a corporation that has your number. They don't know who you are. They don't care who you are. Versus you have been there for me so many times when I've had questions. I'm a needy customer. No, but it's true. That's the difference, and that's the difference that I've found in several people that have this kind of business. When they do it well, they embody that. They take that on, and they take the time to build that relationship with their customers, because not only do they want to keep their customers, they want to have their customers sing praises. Raving fans, and then grow their business in that way. So it has really been an extreme pleasure having everyone here today and seeing your faces that I haven't seen in a while. So I hope that gives those of you tuning in an idea of some of the things that you can get involved in. Mary Swartz is with Send Out Cards. And did I have a website or any contact info for Mary? Would you prefer they email you or call you? How can people find out more about what you're doing?
The website is cardsfromyourpc.com. And all my contact information should be on there.
Cards from
your PC.
From yourpc.com. Okay, so if you have any questions about getting involved in Send Out Cards, you can contact Mary that way. And thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we will see you next week with Courageous Journeys.